Hey guys, it's Ch.3. Welcome to Chapter 3 of Ordinary Medical Procedures. Actually, I think this is like way too not close to my mouth. Every time I always about to record this, like when I know I'm about to record this, my heart starts racing and I'm just like, why? At the same time, I don't know if I want to do this or not. Also, I've been watching a lot of anime now, and I'm just realizing how meta it was. Because the first anime that got me back into it was High School DxD Season 4. And I mentioned Tide Pods, and I was like, why is this an anime all of a sudden? I'm just like, fucking, that's a lot of trends that just go into anime now. And I'm just like, also NP, there's literally an anime I'm currently watching where there's a female character that just says NP for no problem. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? This is so meta now. I just got so confused. Anyways. So, clearly from the title of the chapter, pretty sure this man gets a second penis, so he can have fun with both of his mirrors that I'm just going to say he just got. Also, since I have my internet, I can actually have background music for myself, because you guys listen to my main, that's my main. If it's like the techno weird one that I always put on, that's my main instrumental that I always use, because it's from, what's the freaking song called? Faster Than You Know by Black Griffin. And if it's sometimes I switch it up to something classical because sex, intimacy. I feel like classical music, it represents that. Sometimes other times I'm stalling. If you guys, other times no, not that one. Other times when it comes to a chapter which is themed around something, for chapter 26. Of I think chapter 20 something that's called Nightmare Night for Human and You. That was called Nightmare Night, and the song I use now is literally called Nightmare Night. It's just instrumental because I can't have any voices in the background when I'm reading shit. Wait, is my sound on? Okay, where's the Symphony Radio app? Bam. I'm using Pandora. This is Nightcore. Symphonic. Oh, they changed the album cover. Or the radio cover. Whatever you call it. Okay. Anyways. Let me see if this works. Okay. Let's hop right into it. Horses give a man a potion. Man grows an extra appendage. Little things continued to happen. Titus, I'm just going to go ahead and say what everybody else is thinking. What in the name of Celestia is wrong with you? It was another lovely Saturday afternoon. Once again, Titus, Caramel, Hooves, and Thunderlane were seated at their table outside of the little coffee shop. All three stallions had ordered their usual drinks, while Titus, feeling a bit adventurous this week, had decided to get some tea. The tea, of course, tasted absolutely awful, but he had spent 5 bits on it, and he was going to be damned. And he was going to be damned if he wasn't going to drink every last drop. Fucking typo. I think you're going to have to be a bit more specific, Caramel, Titus said. Try not to grimace as he took a small sip of his drink. You've known me for long enough to know that I'm a bit of a work in progress. Caramel's nose scrunched up. I've been trying to set you up with some nice mirrors for months, and you go ahead and pick 2 perverts, he said, setting his drink down. Putting the 2 of them would have been fine. A stallion needs to scratch that itch every once in a while, but Redheart and Coldheart, I don't know what you're talking about. I think they're fine, Thunderlane said, giving Titus a smile. Don't listen to that buddy Titus. Those are 2 great mirrors you got. Caramel started. You would say that. Yes, I would, Mr. Amethyst Lover, Thunderlane said without missing a beat. Everyone at the table, other than Caramel, of course, snorted. Look, I respect your decision, Titus, and I know you're smart enough not to let anybody force you into anything, but you don't have to work with those mirrors, Hoof said, a look of pain flashing across his features. Redheart is fine, but Coldheart, that old grown, covering his face with his toes. Every time I'm near her, she's telling these stories to doctors, to patients. I swear I even saw her talking with one of the hospital boards about his nose squished up, your diligent tongue work. Diligent. What the fuck? Why is she just blabbing about that to the doctors and shit? What the fuck, man? That's just not good. I just noted, yeah, I heard about that too. Redheart's always giving her shit about it when the 2 of them are home, he said with a smile, which only seemed to baffle the stallion sitting at the table. Yeah, man, come on. He accepts both of them. Got Redheart over here who literally just said, yeah. Redheart literally wants him to only love her, but that's not gonna happen since somebody got another taste of his little member down there out. fucking microphone stand. If you know what she's doing it, then why are you putting up with her horse apples? Caramel asked, slamming up against the table. Because I don't think it's that big of a deal. Tara said, leaning over and booping the earth pony on the nose. You guys talk about stuff like that all the time and no one cares. That's so true. Probably. That's because when a stallion does it, it's gossip. But when a mare does it, it's in image ruiner. What? Shut the fuck up, man. This is my herd. Fuck off. Or Titus's herd. Caramel replied, herd or no, you never want other ponies to know what you're especially loose with your herd mates. That brings around the really undesirable fillies. Pretty sure if Titus had kids, he'll be strict with them. Pretty fucking sure. The other two stallions of the team were nodded as if what Caramel had just said was common knowledge. Titus just nodded, taking another sip of his tea. Would it even things out if I started talking about how my mirrors are in bed, he asked. Why would I even things out? I'm so fucking confused. Wait, so Redheart is gossiping about his tongue work and all that. Now, he's saying that, would this just go away if I just talk about how they are in bed? No, it would not, Thunderling said. Whatever you say about them isn't going to matter because mares don't have to worry about it. But these stallions have dignity because of what we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. Shut the fuck up, Thunderling! Shut the fuck up! Wait, is that Thunderling, right? I totally lost myself. Yeah, that was Thunderling. Shut the fuck up, Thunderling! Looking around, the Pegasus then leaned toward the human. If you want to give us the juicy details, though, I'm not gonna turn away fresh gossip. Titus chuckled, bringing his tea to his lips and tilting the cup back so that he could finish his vial, drinking 2 big gulps. Dignity, yeah, that's a good one, you bunch of little neb-nosers. That's my favorite cult. Neb-nosers. What? Redheart, her curly mane bouncing around her shoulders, trotted toward the table through the mirror, looked like she was in need of a nap. She nonetheless had a great smile on her face as she trotted over and nuzzled Titus's side. Titus really spun around, grinning as he bent down and wrapped his arms around the little mare. Redheart let out a happy hum, returning the hug. You finally get off work then? The human asked as the mare nuzzled his neck. Her nostrils flaring as she took in assent. Yup, thanks Celestia, that only wanted us for the half of the day, the nurse said with a yawn. I'm still pooped after yesterday. Where's Redheart? Titus asked, looking around. Did they make her stay a little later? Nah, she already went home, the pony said, nosing the human's chin. She asked me to come and check on you, so here I am. Ah, that's cute. Now that's cute. You can't say he has got shit under control and he knows they're gonna be fine. Fuck you, man, you fucking assholes. Honestly though, if my friends did this to me, I would be so fucking mad. Like, it's my fucking relationships. It's plural. I'll handle it. Fuck you, me. Also, if I have fucking fillies, coals, I will be strict with them and discipline them when that time comes. God damn it. Redheart lifted her muzzle from the human's neck to look at the silence of the people. Afternoon, gentle calls. Oh, it's nice to see that you couldn't come in for 4 hours to help out. Those bristled. Hey, it's my weekend off. It was my weekend off too, and I still went in. Redheart said, scoffing. Then just pulling his mare back against him, gave her cheek a kiss. Wait, pulling his mare back against him. Oh, okay, so he's just pulling her closer. Play nice with my friends, hun, he said. Redheart let out a sigh. I know, she murmured, leaning against him. I'm sorry, Hooves, it was a rough day. There was some crown softened a bit. What happened? Some horse dung up at Cancelot General. They had to send his 100 patients for the day so they could get sorted out. Wait. Some horse dung up at Cancelot General. They had to send us 100 patients for the day so they could get sorted out. Redheart replied, humming as Titus began to run his fingers through her mane. A lot more of the staff came in and then I thought, but we were still fucking swamped even when I left. Those anger and indignation drained away completely. Regret and even a bit of a guilt replaced it. Yeah, you don't fucking dip on work, okay? Oh, I'm sorry about that, he said, looking down at his coffee as he held it in both hooves. If I had known that that was why they were asking ponies to come in, I might have gone in for a few hours. Fuck you! Redheart smiled entirely. It's fine. Cancelot General should be picking their people up by the end of the day, so we won't have to deal with any more horse apples, hopefully. But then he gave Caramel a sidelong glance. She doesn't seem like a bad pick to me, he said out of the corner of his mouth. Caramel frowned. Shut up! They may be perverts, but they're his perverts, you fuckers, so shut the fuck up. Titus and Redheart ignored the exchange, still focused on lavishing attention on one another. How about the two of us go home? Titus said, giving her an ear scratch. I'll make sure you and Redheart get to bed, alright, and for us awesome pizza for when you two wake up. Coulthard pressed a bit more of herself against him. I'd appreciate that, babe. Titus kissed the top of her head, holding the kiss. Alright, just let me say bye to the fellas and we'll leave. Kermo, Hooves, and Thunderling were about to at the scene unfolding before them before they could. However, all three of them watched as Coulthard, who had her muzzle buried in her human's chest, reached around and gave his butt a pinch. Seeing this instantly wiped the smiles off their faces, as well made their noses scrunch up. You guys don't like being touched by your own mares. You're gay or what? Are you gay? These guys are gay. That's my conclusion on this matter. See, what did I tell you, Kermo murmured. Next she'll be making him mount her in front of all of us. Get your male menaced horse apples out of this cafe, Hooves murmured back. I hear enough of that at work already. Sharing a final nuzzle, Coulthard stepped away while Titus stood up. Hey, I'll see you guys later. I need to make sure the missus gets home alright. Coulthard snorted. I'm not some cult, Titus. A bit of mess sleep isn't... Hey! Bending over, Titus plucked Coulthard from the ground and handed her like a baby. The nurse, of course, didn't take too kindly to this. As soon as her earth pony was in his arms, she began wiggling with all of her might. Oh, come on, man. You can't just, like, not be on his lap. And he just puts you down for, like, a quick moment. Because he was planning on carrying you. He was planning on carrying your bitch ass. You can't just, like... He can't just leave you on the ground and just walk off with you on the ground still. He's gonna pick you up if he knows you're fucking tired. Titus, I swear to Celestia, put me down right now, she said, frowning hard. No! Titus replied, holding her close as he reached down with a hand and pooped her nose. Now be quiet and let me carry you home. I'm not letting you bucking carry me home. I don't remember giving you the choice, son. Ponies are watching us, you silly cult. I'm gonna be the town laughing stock. Don't worry, if I hear anyone laughing, I'll give them a hard boot to the nose. That'll fix them up. Kermo, Hooves, and Thunderling, who were laughing hard at their friends' antics, were subsequently booped. This did nothing to say Coulthard's irritation and annoyance. In fact, it only seemed to make her nose crunch up harder. Put me down right now, she said, kicking all four hooves. Seeing that his mare friend was being unreasonable, Titus simply pressed his pointer finger against his nose. This pony stopped wiggling for a moment, her cheeks puffing out and her eyes crossing. This pause and her struggles gave the human the perfect opportunity to get a hold onto the mare, giving her a kiss before making his way toward the direction of Redheart's house. Ever since he had agreed to be in Coulthard and Redheart's herd, both mares had insisted that he stay with them. From what he had been able to gather, since the mares wouldn't directly answer him when he asked why, Red ponies were particularly protected of their mates because there was always a high chance that other mares were trying to steal their stallion when their backs were turned. So while they couldn't be with him at all hours of the day, they could still watch over the human far better at Redheart's house than if he stayed at his old house. Yeah, I'm pretty sure no other mare would just pop out of the blue like that. Like, you two just really sucked his dick, and you just want to fucking give him love. I think this is the best deal, the best deal he got. Not that Titus had any complaints. Redheart's house was a lot bigger and nicer than his own, and it was nice to wake up on a big, comfortable bed snuggled up by two pretty mares. Fucking typo. It also helped that Redheart always made it a point to keep her fridge stocked with food that she knew he liked. Now you see, man, this is good deal with him. The walk back home was a relatively uneventful one. Coulthard continued to frown up at the young man as he carried her, though she only began squirming and struggling to get out of his grasp whenever another mare happened to walk by. Thankfully, the streets were relatively clear, and the few ponies that were out and about only shook their heads at the local human silliness. I mean, shook their heads. Okay, so she's on the ground to make sure no other mare gets to him? What? That makes no fucking sense. Like, if you're being carried, I think that's a better way to just have the intention on you. Oh wait, no man, that's a bad idea. He's carrying you, and he's looking ahead, which is also a safety concern. Why am I thinking too hard on this? It's a fucking simple little thing, tangents and shit, you know, man. Not that Titus said anything. I read that. The walk back home was a little. I fucking read that. Home sweet home, Titus said, putting Coulthard down onto the front porch. Don't you? Home sweet home, me sweet cheeks, the nurse said, giving his leg a poke. I'm gonna get you back for that, horse apples. I'm gonna get you back so hard. Titus chuckled. I'll make it up to you, he said, giving her head a pat. Now come on, let's get you in the shower and to bed. The human surprised Coulthard shook her head. No. Can do No can do hot stuff. I thought she meant like I can't do hot stuff. But no can do hot stuff, she said with a small smile coming to her face. What you mean, Titus asked his brow furrowing. Weren't you just saying how tired you were? I'm a nurse, Titus. Do you think a couple of hours overtime is gonna do anything to me? At this point he asked with a smirk. Please, I was told triple shifts for weeks at a time. Butting down on the young man's sleeve, Kodar began to lead him to the front door. Nope, I tricked you. You were big, sexy coat you. I tricked you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, come on, Red is cooking something that you're gonna love. Does that mean Red got a plan? Redheart made a plan? Confused, Titus allowed himself to be led inside of the house and up the steps into the bedroom he had been sharing with his nurse for the last week or so. Upon entering it, he saw that it was pretty much as he had left it that morning. The bed was made, the little table, while he and the girls kept their toothbrushes, combs, and all of their other knickknacks that they used in the mornings. The bathroom mirror even still had the smudge on it, even though Titus swore that he had wiped that away. The only change in the room, it seemed, was sitting next to the window, leaning over a small table that hadn't been there before this morning. A Dr. Redheart. Redheart had a pair of vials in her hose. This is where the stupid potion comes in. One of the vials was a neon pink color and seemed to be bubbling. The other vial was a deep black color with little yellow specks that were swirling on their own. Redheart was pouring the vial's contents into a small cup, her brow furrowed and tongue sticking out of her mouth in concentration. Okay. Both Titus and Kodar stood there quietly as Earth pointed to this, not wanting to disturb her, as she gingerly tipped over the vial with the black liquor so that a single drop fell into the glass. As soon as the drop hit the bottom of the glass, a puff of smoke shot up to the ceiling. I would not... Let's see. I don't know how far they've been in this relationship, but I would not. It seems recent because, you know, the guys are complaining about it, but I would not let them experiment on me when it's really recent, I guess. Or if I know it's not safe. That's concentrated dino root, Kodar whispered. It can be real nasty stuff if you're not careful with it. Titus brow furrowed. If it's nasty stuff, then why did she bring it in the house? He whispered back. In fact, why is she even... Shush, Kodar interrupted, waving his question away with a hoof. You're going to break her concentration. But then why are you in the fucking bathroom? Just fucking leave and talk about this shit late in the fucking kitchen or whatever. Putting the vial, I thought it was gonna be fucking dinner. I thought it was gonna be like a nice little dinner, flirty, sexual dinner. But I thought it was gonna be like a nice dinner, having a moment together. But no. Putting the vial filled with black liquid into a vial holder, Redheart tipped over the other vial. A bead of sweat could be seen dripping down the mirror's face as she licked her lips. 1, 2, then finally 3 drops fell into the glass before the doctor quickly pulled the vial away. That's Laffy Taffy gum, Kodar said. If you get any of that on your clothes, you never get the stain out. That's great, but why is... Shut your beautiful pie hole and just watch. But I'm so confused who was talking. Like, I need, like, who said, she said, like, dialogue. It's not just random stuff. A sharp hissing sound could be heard as both of the black and pink liquids began to mix. The liquids glowed, changing into half a dozen different colors. The glass started to shake so violently that small cracks could be seen starting to form. Redheart grabbing a towel, placing it over the top of the glass, taking a step away, she grabbed a cup of what looked like water and overturned it on top of the towel. She then ducked underneath the table just as a loud thunder-like explosion rocked the room. Titus jumped out the noise, his eyes wondering, Redheart, what the fuck are you doing? Redheart whipped her head around to see her mate and Stallion standing right next to the door. The mare's ears pinned against the back of her head, but even so, she managed to smile. Oh, so you were like, what the why are you here, boy? Why are you yelling at me? Oh, hello, honey. How was your lunch with your friends? She asked, picking her head over the table and to look at the towel-covered cup. Don't you try to change the subject, Titus said. See, like, that's what I like. I like it when it says Titus said or Redheart said or that nonsense. Titus said, pointing a finger at the doctor as he made his way toward her. Why are you trying to blow your house up? This is nothing to worry about, honey, Redheart said, standing back up at her full height. It might be loud and a bit messy, but this is completely safe. Titus tried to take another step toward the mirror, only for her to lift a hoof to stop him. Just hold still for a moment, honey. We don't want to upset the drink any more than it already is. I thought you just said that this is completely safe, Titus said, his eyes narrowing. From beneath the towel, a very disconcerting sound came from the glass. It was a mixture between a lion's roar mixed in with a baby scream, which was followed by the blue towel covering the glass turning blood red. Eyeing the table, Titus very cautiously reached over and picked up Redheart up, making sure that she was securely in his arms. The woman took a step backwards, then another. Red, what kind of witchcraft did you bring into the house? He whispered. It's not witchcraft. Those ingredients are used for dozens of medical tests, Redheart said. If you guys use that at the hospital all the time, then I'm really happy I don't get sick all that much, Titus replied, not taking his eyes off the table. You're in a new world, get used to it. Lady control the weather and all that. I'm pretty sure you're fine. The young man took a few more steps backwards. When he saw that he was standing right next to Kodar, who was smirking up at the two, he reached down and picked her up as well before carrying both of his mirrors out of the room. Puff of smoke erupted from under the towel as well as what sounded like a pained groan. Though it took some doing, Titus managed to grab the bedroom door and close it behind him. Now a little less concerned about the safety of himself with the mirrors, Titus carried both ponies downstairs, giving one last nervous glance up at the ceiling. He opened the front door and stepped outside, closing that door behind him as well. What the fuck? Oh, okay, so they're in the front. Okay, so he just carried them all the way down to the front door of the house. Okay. Kodar, who was all smiles at this point, looked over at Redheart. See, I told you he would freak out. Redheart blew a bit of her hair from her face. Well, if you took your time getting back home instead of rushing back then, I could have gotten all that finished before you two got home. She replied as Titus carried them out onto the front lawn. Wasn't my fault. The second that this big sexy cult saw me, he couldn't keep his hands off of me. I had to get him home before somebody called the guard. Oh, you're so full of hot air. I'm surprised you're not floating into the sky right now. As the two mirrors bickered, Titus staring at the house like he expected demons to start breaking down the walls, slowly subduing onto the ground. I'm pretty sure if they've done this at the hospital, it's fine. Okay, we should be fine now. Someone tell me what the fuck is going on, please, he said. Both Kodar and Redheart exchanged glasses. Well, you see, Redheart began, only for Kodar to place a hook over her mouth. Don't worry, Red, I got this, Nurse said, looking up at Titus and giving him her best smile. Her best, most winning smile. Titus, honey, light up my life. I'll tell you that you look wonderful this morning because you do, in fact. You look so fucking great that it takes my breath away. Titus started reaching up and booping the mirror's nose. The boop did nothing to dissuade Kodar, however, as the mirror continued. Do you remember when you said the other day that you were willing to try something new in the bedroom? Because me and Red do. The two of us did some talking, and we may have borrowed some ingredients from the hospital's pharmacy. We figured out just a thing to really spice the old love life up. Okay. You want to spice our month-old relationship up by summoning demons or ghosts into our house? Titus asked. That's pretty weird, kink Kodar. Ah, so it's been a month! It's been a fucking month then. Okay. Why would I want to have a demon or ghost actually? No, man. I don't know why I said that when I realized there probably is a kink like that in the universe. I'm over here reading pony porn and I'm asking why there's ghost and fucking demon porn. Yeah. Fucking life, you know? Fucking life. Oh, you have no idea what kind of kink I have, my wonderful stallion, Kodar said, a glint in her eyes as she chuckled, but the ghost thing isn't one of them. I fucking know witchcraft or wizardry or of any kind is going on in that house. It's just that those ingredients are a little volatile, Redheart said. In a very controlled environment, they're completely fine, but in a normal, everyday setting, that can act a little strange. I know you two heard screaming coming from that glass scene with me, and you're telling me there's no magic fuckery involved? Titus asked. Love that. I love that term. Some magic fuckery. I better not get demonetized. I'm gonna get demonetized, aren't I? Shit. It just sounded like a scream, babe. It wasn't a real one, Kodar said, giving the human's cheek a gentle pat. But that's not what's important. What is important is what is in the cup at this very moment, and how it can help the three of us have a very wonderful rest of the day. Let's glance at the house again. He then looked down at both of his mirrors, both of which were looking up at him with hopeful smiles. The young man gently frowned, his eyes narrowed. Damn it, now you get me curious. Now you got me curious, he said, closing his eyes, pinching the bridge of his nose. Alright, tell me what the demon concoction you brewed up does. Redheart and Kodar once again exchanged glasses. The nurse director discreetly pumped the hoof into the air while Doctor wiggled excitedly in her human's lap. Like, Kodar is like just the bro, like, let's go. Like, and Redheart is just a cute girl. I love it. Okay, so you remember when I told you that Redheart is really into an anal? Kodar said. What the fuck? Redheart stiffened, a blush exploding across her funny face. You told him what? She said. I was helping Titus clean up the bedroom and we found a bunch of sex toys on the bed, the nurse explained. When Nani here saw that you had a bunch of butt plugs, I told him that story you told me about your fantasizing about a cult putting it in your butt. Well, what? Why in Celestia's name would you? Anyway, so you know that Red likes her butt stuff, but what you don't know is that I've always wanted to be rotted in both holes, Kodar said, looking Titus right in the eyes. Are you irritated? Why is it not fucking spelled right? Redheart squirmed in his lap. The idea of having two stallions laying me down and stuffing me to the brim is the hottest thing in the world for me. I've been jilling to that thought since I got my fucking cutie mark. That is just such a weird fantasy to just keep locked up, I guess, for so long now. Shut up, phone, no one's talking to you. Kodar smile deflated a little. Unfortunately, unless you're royalty or bucking rich, there's no way you're gonna have multiple stallions throwing themselves at you. From what I've heard, a lot of stallions don't like anal at all because they think it's dirty. Excuse me? We don't do that here. We just eat the booty. We don't fuck the ass unless you ask for it, I guess. So I've never been able to fulfill my lifelong dream. Okay, I feel like Titus should know his own shit, so they're putting perk back up, putting your neck to give Titus a kiss on the nose. But now you're in my life. But now you're here in my life, so you big, beautiful, wonderful stallion. You're here, and you can finally help me live out one of my favorite kinks, and you can show Red here why I love it so fucking much. That is Ch.3. As much as I love to fulfill a lifelong dream of yours, Ch.3, there's only one me, and while I'm not going to say no taking the road less traveled, I'm not that kind of guy that likes to share his girls. I'm pretty sure no one likes to share his girls. Pretty sure no one. Ch.3 giggled. That's just the thing. You won't have to because of what's in that glass upstairs in our bedroom. What is it? Some kind of cloning spell or something? Titus asked. Nope. Even better. Ch.3 said with a grin. It'll temporarily give you another dick. For about a minute, Titus stared down at the mirror, his expression unreadable. Ch.3 continued to stare up at him with a grin. Redheart, however, was shifting back and forth in the young man's lap, nervously chewing out her lip. So okay, Redheart's in the lap, and I'm guessing Ch.3 is literally just in front of him. So he's Indian style in the front yard. Finally, after a few failed attempts, Titus was finally able to open his mouth and speak. Another dick. Excuse me. Yup, Ch.3 said, rapidly shaking her head. It won't be quite as big as the beast between your legs, but it'll be big enough to run to both of us, silly. Speaking alooshly, Titus looked over at Redheart. Red, can you explain, please? Oh, I'd be happy to, huh? Redheart said, doing her best to smile. It's actually very complicated, but I think I can explain it in a way you understand. You see, sometimes we need to cross-examine a limb on a patient. Usually there's only one such limb on the body. Other times, other limbs, like a pony's hooves or your hands, have a minute difference that would alter any results we're looking for. The mare shifted her weight from left to right, purposely grinding her rump into the human's groin. The new limb is only temporary and is able to move just like the original limb, and you'll have complete feeling in it. Huh, Titus said, drumming his fingers against Redheart's back. Does anything nasty happen to you after you use it, or anything like that? Better not, cause boy, you gotta say no to that. That's for sure, cause you're being cautious. That's good. That's a good way to do shit. Be cautious. I'm sick. Fuck. Not really, Ch.3 said. You might get a headache, or you'll get the runs for a day or two. But that's pretty much it. That's it? Yep. This new limb will be gone after a couple hours. It'll stick for 5 hours at most. If it does take any longer, me or Red can just go to the hospital and bum a pill of the pharmacist that will make it disappear. Titus rolled his jaw, holding onto Redheart tightly, tucked the mare's head under his chin and began nuzzling the top of her head. Redheart let out a happy hum, nuzzling him right back. Does it hurt? He asked. Redheart shook her head. No, at most, you might feel a bit of tingling around the area that the new limb grows out of, but that should be it. Red also checked, and this is perfectly safe for you, big guy, Ch.3 added as she struck the human's arm. Then his eyes narrowed down to slits. You know, there's a part of me that's worried about the whole liquid screaming like a damned soul thing, he said, but the idea of having 2 dicks actually sounds really neat. The idea of having 2 dicks! Oh man, this is what brings herds together nowadays. Or especially this herd, because it's just 2 others. Both mares sucked in air through their teeth, their eyes wide and hopeful. So you're thinking about doing it then? Redheart asked. Yeah, Titus said, shrugging. I mean, the 2 of you already went through all the trouble to get the stuff for this, and I know that neither of you would hurt me, so let's do it. Yes, Ch.3 cheered. You're lucky you have these types of mares. That's all I gotta say to you, Titus. Bend around so that she was straddling him. The earth pony cupped the human's face up and planted a big kiss right on his baked lips. Fucking typo, it's not an A. Fuck you, Dad. Okay, that's making him a little bit more aggressive. This could be awesome. Just you wait, handsome. After a few hours of us running your brains out, you'll want to do this all the time. Oh, I can't wait to. Someone very shyly cleared their throat. Titus, Ch.3, and Redheart froze, all of them slowly looking onto the street to see Rosalux standing there. What the why the fuck are you watching us just have a conversation, you fucking Rosalux standing there? Okay, so someone very shyly cleared their throat. Titus, Ch.3, and Redheart froze. All of them slowly looked onto the street to see Rosalux standing there. That sounds really hot, the mayor said. The 2 dick think, I mean. Hey, do you guys mind if I watch you go at it? I don't need to be in the action, but I'd really. Redheart hopped out of Titus's lap, grabbing the human by his shirt with her teeth. The red-faced and horrified mare pulled him onto her back. In a feat of athleticism, the board on a super equine, the doctor then grabbed Ch.3 by the scuff of her neck and with a mighty yank tossed the mare over his shoulder. Son of a hayseed, the nurse shouted, flailing in surprise before a confused Titus caught her. You can't just say no. You can't just leave her there. I feel like this is Titus' decision. Titus is all of your decision. Also, why would you just ask that when that's a very personal conversation? What the fuck goes on? With her two herdmates in tow, Redheart, who didn't seem bothered by the heavy weight on her back, quickly made her way toward her house without saying a word. Wolfstock watched the bear leave, her nose squinching up. So, is that a no then? This fucking stupid. Oh, I'm fucking sick. Well, I think I'm sick, I don't know. I should have a pill here, it'll probably work out. Whatever. Put that rubbing stuff just above Red, and remember to put a bunch of it there. We don't want this dick going somewhere weird. I know, now pass me that rag and be quiet. Unsurprisingly, the process of going and noodling was pretty complicated. Titus had to take a shower using a special soap that his mirrors had gotten him. A mild electric current had been put through his body for several minutes. After that, the human had been forced to sit in his bedroom closet in the dark for a few minutes. While the human wasn't a doctor by any means, he had no idea how any of this was going to help him grow a new cock. Still, his wares were the professionals. Well, yeah, they fucking work. A nurse and a doctor, yeah. They were not only taking the time to prep him, but they had gone out of the way to prep themselves, going on to the bathroom with a red balloon-looking object and a gallon of sterilized water. The two had come out 10 minutes later, dazed and a little stiff-legged, but they looked as ready as he felt. What the fuck did he do to each other? That's the question. At that moment, Titus was completely naked with his hands behind his back. Both were Redheart and Ch.3 were standing right in front of him, eyeing his groin. Ch.3's hoof was a glass cup filled with potion that he make him go on no member. Redheart's hoof was a small container of what looked like Vaseline. Leslie was rubbing the slightly very cold ball right next to his cock. Her brow furrowed with decision. Ch.3 passed her a rag. The doctor took it, wiping a bit of the stuff off before taking a step back and smiling. There, that should be more than enough, she said, grabbing the top of the container and closing it up. No, you just need to drink the solution and we can have our fun. Looking like she was about to start bouncing off the walls, Ch.3 handed Titus the glass. There you go, big guy. Titus thanked her as he took the glass, looking down into the liquid inside. The human licked his lip. Alright, bottoms up, I guess, he said, pitching his nose before bringing the glass to his lips and tilting the glass back. He expected it to taste horrible, but to his surprise, it didn't. The taste wasn't something he could immediately. The taste wasn't something he could immediately identify. 1 second it was incredibly sweet, then it was bitter, then it tasted just like blackberries. Something smacking his lips. Titus looked down at the now empty glass. You know, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going. And he exploded outward from his mouth to the rest of his body, making the young man pause. That he turned into a prickling sensation that made all the hair on his body stand up. You right there, big guy? Ch.3 asked, a bit of concern coloring her tone. I think so, Titus replied, looking down at himself. The prickling sensation began to build up around his groin. Titus squirmed in place, grimacing. The prickling began to become uncomfortable, prompting him to reach down with a hand to scratch. Before his hand could come in contact with his skin, however, Ch.3 grabbed his hand. Well, easy there, big guy. You want to keep your hands away while the magic happens, she said. Look, it's already starting to happen. It was barely noticeable at first, just a little bump an inch or two from his cock. The bump began to grow bigger, however. A pink mushroom-like head started to form out of a mass of flesh, and the beginnings of a shaft. This is really freaky, Titus said, not able to take his eyes off of slowly growing them. Awesome, it's more like it, Ch.3 said, licking her lips. Come on, baby, grow big and strong for mama. You gotta fill up good. The cock continued to grow longer and thicker, took on the coloration of the penis next to it. Veins sprung up and down the shaft. Finally, after almost 5 minutes, Titus found himself with a fully grown, if a few inches smaller than the one he already had, cock sitting right next to his other one. Okay, so I'm guessing these are literally just side by side? Slowly, Titus reached down and wrapped his fingers around the cock. Huh? I can feel that, he said, giving it a gentle squeeze. It looks like everything is where it's supposed to be, Redheart said, leaning in a bit as Titus gave his new dick a few tugs. Now we just need to see if it's functionally the same, Titus. Why don't you do over the bed and sit down? Go over to. Why is there a do? It's a fucking G. It's a fucking letter. Why the fuck do you fuck up a letter? Why don't you go to the bed? Go over to the bed and sit down. Yeah, come on, big guy, Ch.3 said, nudging his leg with their head. It's time for some running. Let's go. Both of the young man's cocks stretched as he was half led, half dragged to the bed. Sitting down at the edge of the table, he spread his legs out wide to reveal his slowly hardening cocks. So how are we gonna tell if it actually works, he asked, looking down at his equipment. Well, can we even be able to shoot out of it, or does it only just... The rest of Titus' question was lost as Ch.3 no longer able to contain herself. Darted forward and pumped the human's shaft into her mouth. Titus tensed, the muscles in his legs tensing as a bit of unexpected pleasure shut up the length of his spine. Redheart let out a moan, sucking hard as the cock began rapidly hardening in her mouth. Redheart bit her lip. Does that feel alright, Titus? No pain or discomfort? No. It feels like I'm getting my cock sucked. Titus replied, letting out a groan as he placed a hand on top of Redheart's head. Redheart nodded, taking a step forward so that she was side by side with the nurse. She looked down at Titus's other cock with what was quickly growing to full mass. The doctor licked her lips at the sight, leaning down and inhaling deeply. Good, if there is any discomfort, just tell us and we'll stop, she said, planting the kiss on his cock head. Now, if it's alright with you, I would like to get a taste of my own. Titus said nothing, just placing a hand on top of her head as Redheart no longer to keep the whole of his new cock comfortably. What? No longer? Okay. Titus said nothing, just placing a hand on top of her head as Redheart no longer to keep the whole of his new cock comfortably. Her mouth began to bob her head comfortably in her mouth. No longer trying to keep the whole of his new cock comfortably in her mouth, began to bob her head up and down his length. Redheart gave him this as an invitation until this shaft, the human's cock twitched hard, bouncing off the mare's muzzle. Redheart giggled. It seems that there's no complication blissful for either penises, she said, giving his cock a lick from the base to tip. Titus let out another groan, his knees knocking against his mare's sides as he continued to see him. Redheart groaned around his length, twisting her head. She forced herself to take more and more of him. The human could feel that thick, long tongue of hers circling around his shaft. His new cock twitched and surprisingly excited her spit pre-coming to the mare's mouth, which she happily sucked and swallowed. Redheart, no longer content with nuzzling his cock, finally opened her mouth, looking into the young man's eyes. A small smile tugging at the corners of her lips. The mare popped his cock head into her mouth and began sucking. Titus's hips bucked, and both cocks throbbed. A bold pleasure, unlike any that he had ever felt before, exploded outward, his host called at the cessation. It took a considerable amount of willpower, goddammit, to keep himself from exploding in both mare's mouth right then and there. Yeah, I need a... Look at that, this point really sensitive down there for both of them. Haha, Jesus, is this something else? He said, breathlessly laughing. I don't... Oh, fuck. Teasing the underside of his shaft with her tongue, Redheart began to slowly bob her head. She pressed her cheek against Redheart's, rubbing them together as his mares bobbed their heads up and down. Both head springs were looking up into his eyes as he looked and sucked at the human. Losing Titus's new cock with a pop, Redheart chuckled. Oh, this is going to do. She said, teasing his crown with her tongue. Oh, Buck, it is gonna do. The nurse gave his new cock a few strokes, wiping the spit from her face with her hoof. Hey, Red, I bet you this week's paycheck. I can think more of him than you. Redheart paused mid-bob. She looked over at Redheart as best as she could. Her ears perked up. Slowly, she pulled herself off his cock. It's not gonna be fair if what I'm It's not gonna be fair if what I'm sucking is bigger than what you're sucking, she said, reaching under both cocks to play with his balls. This is just weird and interesting. Let me have the bigger one and then I'll choke on it, Redheart said with a shrug as she gave the human's cock head a quick tongue bath. We don't want the mighty alpha to hurt herself now, would we? Oh yeah, Redheart's the alpha in this, huh? Of the mares. Redheart puffed up like a pigeon, turning back to face Titus's cock. She rolled her jaw and wetted her lips, taking a deep breath. She opened her mouth as wide as she could and wrapped her lips around his crown. Redheart, now greeting, was quick to follow her example, opening her mouth and beginning to lower herself onto his shaft. Titus's hips bucked as the mares took inch after inch of him. Their warm hands shot up to his face and he bit his knuckle. Redheart wasn't wasting her time, taking as much of his new cock into her mouth as quickly as she could. Every inch or so she gagged, which would force her to stop for a moment. Tears collected in the corners of her eyes. More than once she was forced to draw back and take a few breaths before diving back down. Redheart took her time very slowly and carefully traveling down his shaft. The doctor didn't gag or choke on his length. She didn't pause or draw back. She didn't even make a noise other than occasional suckle or slip. When the tip of his cock, Titus's cock, bumped the back of her throat, she simply swallowed over and over again until he was in her throat proper. Well, damn. Redheart doesn't want to lose him. Basically, that's all I gotta say. Doesn't want to lose him or lose this. It wasn't long until the doctor's muscle was pressed up against her human stomach. She giggled happily, but put into the position as she looked at Redheart out of the corner of her eye. Redheart snorted around her mouth while trying to force the last few inches into her mouth, gagging hard and pulling herself off of his length, having a coughing fit. Damn it, Celestia, damn it! Taking the bottom of his Titan's shaft, making the human groan and causing both of his cocks to shoot a spurt of pee. Redheart slowly pulled back, just like her G said. The mare took her time, even reaching over to give her lovers over dick a few living strokes. Titus's hips jerked again. And the human had to try very, very hard to keep himself from coming. Finally, after several agonizing seconds, the mare released him with a pop. I expect to see those bits of yours. I expect to see those bits of yours tomorrow, the doctor said as she caught her breath. Koda frowned hard for a second or two before she cracked a small smile. I guess there's a reason. You're the alpha, huh? She asked, touching the doctor with her shoulder. I'm questioning it. Oh yeah, it's her house and shit. Yeah, she's the alpha. Fuck you, meets this. You're damn right, Redheart replied, puffing her chest out. She's so happy about that. Grinning at each other, the mares looked back at Titus's red throbbing cock. Titus's red throbbing cocks. Not sure if they should be red. Go ahead and have your turn first, Redheart said. I'll go after you. No, you go first, Redheart said, shaking her head. This was your idea. It's only fair that you go first. Koda's eyes widened ever so slightly. Really? She asked, her voice hushed. Redheart nodded. Go ahead, have your fun. I'll go after you. Alright, yeah, the two penetrated the two holes. Shit. I was like, what the fuck are they talking about from me? A very quiet, very excited noise escaped Koda's throat. She looked up at Titus, smiling from ear to ear. Babe, are you ready to rumble? She asked, bouncing in place. Pining Titus stood up, reaching down. He plucked Koda from the ground and placed her back on top of the bed. Her hair was played out. Her motherhood was puffy and her lower body was completely soaked with excitement, which only caused to rile the human up even more with a groan. Titus grabbed her by her hips and dragged her to the edge of the bed. Koda squared under the rough treatment, wiggling her rump as she bit her lip. Hey, don't do me a favor and be gentle, alright? This is my first time doing something like the... Oh, Titus pressed his weight down on the top of the bed, grabbing one of his cocks against her soaked motherhood while he used a hand to guide the other one. Smaller one to tease her back door. He cupped the bear's face with his free hand, using his thumb to wipe the spittle from her mouth before leaning down and giving her a kiss on the lips. I'll go as slow as you need me to, hon, he said. I should have ran through Kodar's body. Thank you, she whispered, wrapping her hooves around the human's neck. The two shared another kiss as Titus grinded against his bears a little more forcefully. The young man took his time, gently applying pressure to the nurse's tail hole as she rubbed his other length against her motherhood. The arithmetic was tense, red-faced, and petting as she was, but as seconds ticked by and she became used to the stimulation of the muscle in her rope started to clench. Porter's eyes widened to the size of dinner plates when she felt the first itch of the human's cock slipped her ass. Oh gosh, she murmured her back arcing. Oh gosh, oh my gosh, you fucking sound like so much like a rainbow to me. Her mouth opened into a wordless cry as Titus, with a bit of careful angling, managed to push his other cock into her mirror. Oh sweet celestial buck, I can't believe this is finally... Kissing his mirror again, Titus grabbed Koda by her hips and slowly started to press forward. He managed to sink a few inches into both of the mirror's holes before the nurse let out a groan. Both holes clamping down on him hard as her back legs spasmed. Buck! Titus paused and Koda get acclimated. As he did this, he peppered the mare's face and neck with little kisses and bites. Koda, shaken ever so slightly and glassy-eyed, did her best to return this affection. Both of her holes soon unclenched, allowing the human to press a little more of himself into the mare before she tensed once again. The rest was repeated until Titus found himself halted in both of the pony's holes. The human released the breath that he didn't realize he had been holding. Koda, meanwhile, let out a whine, wrapping her back legs around his waist. Taking a few deep breaths, Titus tried to slowly pull out. Koda's body twitched, her mirror and anus clenched down hard on his cock. The mare's lower body spasmed and her grip around his waist tightened considerably. Don't move, she said, her teeth gritted and her eyes shut tightly. Don't want to come. The fuck? She whined again, holding him as close to her as she could. Her mirror tightened around his length, and its inner muscle was doing their best to mock him. Her tail hole, while not as controlled as her cunny, also tensed and squeezed around his other cock. Titus was quite gone, with cock twitching hard from the stimulation. He rolled his hips. Excuse me. Grinding himself against his mirror, Koda gasped, her grip on him tightening. Grinding himself against his mirror. Astonishing. Stop, Celestia, bucking, stop, please. She begged her back, barking. Titus ignored his mare, leaning down and started to nibble on her neck. He pulled back a few inches before slowly both of his lengths back into her. Into the mare. Into the mare. Ah! I feel so sick reading right now. Like I'm not feeling sick from the reading, I'm feeling sick because my nose is like tugged up. Titus, stop! Please fucking stop! Redheart said in a loud mode. Just let me get used to this for a second. Oh, blah. Biting the nurse's neck, Titus began thrusting this a bit faster. Redheart screamed underneath him, trying to wiggle away, but he simply held her by her sides, preventing her from moving as he thrust away. Oh, buck, oh, buck, oh, buck, 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 buck. Titus nipped the mare's neck hard. He growled into her coat, thrusting into her so hard that her entire frame was rocked. Redheart's mouth was wide open, her eyes wide and unfocused as she stared up at the ceiling. Her mane stuck to her soaked coat, covering one of her eyes. Titus, seeing this, reached up and tucked the bit of hair behind her ear before giving her a kiss on the lips. All at once, the nurse's eyes snapped back into focus. They rolled into the back of Redheart's skull as she tossed her head from side to side. Both of the mare's holes down on the human's cocks, and her back legs tightened around his waist with such force that the young man had trouble breathing. Mother bucker! Buck, 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 buck! Cum soaked Titus's groin as Kodak's body began to jerk and twitch in powerful orgasm. The human let out a groan, his balls tightening as he felt both of the mare's holes milking him harder than she ever had before. He gripped his hips tightly, trying his hardest not to come. Kodak held him back just as hard, winding into his ear as she rolled out with the waves of pleasure. The two held each other for a long while, but eventually all of the tension left Kodak's body. The mare let out alongside, letting her head flop down onto the bed. You fucker, she said, her eyes shut tightly as she tried to catch her breath. Oh, you dumb pain in the flank, wonderful. She let out another groan, wiggling her hips as her mirror hood clenched in once more time. I can't feel my legs, the nurse said, or my lower body, and I'm seeing stars. Buck, I didn't think I was going to come that hard. Titus tensed as she gave both of his legs a squeeze. Throbbing hard inside of her, he was right on the edge. One wrong move and he would paint the mare's insides. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, he said, holding her by the hips so that she didn't start wiggling again. Alright, let out a growl. I didn't fucking enjoy myself, she said, cracking an eye to look up at him. I came too fast. You should have let me get used to it before running me so hard. Titus chuckled, leaning down and planning to kiss on his mare's lips as he very slowly started to pull out of her. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't know you loved me being that rough. That's so true. Kodak growled again, slipping her tongue into his mouth and giving his own wet muscle a few laps. She tried to raise her head to dig in a kiss, but then all of the tension left her body. The earth bunny let out a frustrated ground. When I can feel my legs again, you're in for it, Buster. Titus smiled down up at her as he pulled both of his cocks out of her. Both members throbbed in the open air, furious at the lack of release. I'm looking forward to it, he said, giving her cheek a pat before rolling onto the bed right next to her. As much as he would have liked to have gotten up and have his fun with Redheart, he knew that he needed a few minutes. He was still far too close to the edge. If the doctor so much gave either of his cocks a few strokes, he'd explode. As much he was dying to know how it would feel like coming with 2 cocks, he wanted to make sure that he lasted enough for his alpha to enjoy herself as well. Unfortunately for him, Redheart had other ideas. Before the young man could get his bearings, the doctor made her way over to him and hopped up onto his lap and started to grind her rump against his legs. She didn't touch his cock, but as stimulated as he was, that didn't matter. He let out a grow, both of his cocks firing spurts of pee. Red, give me a minute, I'm really close to come. Red let out a hum, grabbing both of his cocks with her heels. Titus let out a gasp, picking his head up and staring up at her with wide eyes. The doctor stared down at him hungrily, wiggling closer and lifting her up her hips. Titus tried to reach up and grab the mare's rump, but she simply pressed both of his cocks against her holes. He froze, his entire body tensing. Redheart, hon, I really need fuck. Flushing away, Redheart lowered herself down onto his cock. Unlike Kodak, who had been a little tense, the doctor was completely relaxed. There was no resistance, no need for her to get used to this feeling of being filled with buff ends. She just sunk herself down her shafts, letting out a low growl. As she did so, a low groan as she did so. Damn, man. Redheart's vicious, I can say that. The fuck? Titus's body jerked as her hump connected with his lap, wiggling her hips with a hum. Redheart quickly rose herself up halfway up his cocks before slamming herself back down. She did this 2 more times to see how far she would be able to move before she began bouncing in his lap in earnest. Fuck! Titus twitched and jerked, grabbing At the bed he tried his hardest to hold it back, but Redheart seemed to be determined. She wanted him to come, wanted him to pull her at both ends. She wanted him to do this so much that it didn't matter to her if he needed a moment to rest or not. And after one last bounce, the doctor got her wish. With one final groan, the young man felt himself erupting. Both of his cocks twitched, fiery come into his mirror. Stars exploded across his vision, and he found himself barely able to breathe. Redheart let out a cue as she felt him alone inside of her. There we go, she said, laying down and giving her a human kiss as he wrote out his orgasm. There's a gift, Sally. Let me have all of it. I want to be dripping. Titus honestly had no idea how long he came. What he didn't know was that when he finally came to, his balls felt a size too small and his lower body ached. Blinking slowly, he looked up to see Redheart chasing circles around his belly button, her head resting on his chest. Why the hell did you do that? He asked, breathing hard. I told you that I was going to come if you didn't give me a minute. Redheart said the same thing to you, but you kept going, Redheart said with a giggle, looking up at him with a smile. I did that because she likes it rough, you know that. Still smiling, the doctor leaned up and gave him a kiss. Well, maybe I like to get a little rough with my big, strong stallion every once in a while too, she said. But you didn't get to come, Titus replied, her guarding herself in the human's laps. Oh, don't worry about that, dear. All I wanted was to be floated to the brain room, and you seem to have done that really nicely. You still should have given me a minute, Titus said. Out of the corner of the human's eye, he put his cold heart crawling over to her them. The mirror looked as exhausted as he felt. His eyes affluated and her entire coat was soaked in sweat. Still, she nevertheless managed to press herself against her chest, letting out an irritated slur as she gave her his neck a muzzle. You should have given me a minute too, you ditzy call, but look at what you did to me, she said, resting her head on his shoulder. I say you got your just desserts. Titus softly started. I'll give you your just desserts, just give me a couple of minutes. He reached down and gave the earth bunnies a squeeze. I'll fill all 3 holes with my dessert. Kodak laughed, slinging a hoof over his chest. If you keep saying things like that, Red and I are gonna have to order you a suit for our wedding. You'll need to get a wedding ring before that, silly, Titus replied, kissing the top of the mirror's head. We already got one, Kodak replied without missing a beat. Red and I got it last week. She lifted up a hoof and put it at nightstand next to the bed. You have it in there, the best gold and gems money you can buy. And we even sized up your ring while you were sleeping the other night. Titus had just about been ready to drift off his seat, perked up. Really? He's ready for this shit, man. He's ready. He just wants it. He picked up his head and looked at Redheart. The doctor still lying on top of him with his cocks firmly lodged in her. Looked quite a bit more nervous than she had a few moments ago. Whoa, Coldheart and I were walking by the jewelry store, and we thought maybe it would be a good idea to get a ring for some time in the future too. Not that we're trying to pressure you or anything. I know marriage is a really big decision, and we've only been dating for a little while. The Coldheart shouldn't have said anything because... okay, it was Redheart saying that. Closing his eyes, Titus reached up and grabbed the back of Redheart's head, grabbing the spell ring that was down. He landed a kiss on her lips. He then turned his head and gave Coldheart a kiss. I hope you two got emerald for the gem, he murmured, holding them both close. We did, of course, we were going to get a big diamond, but Red said that emerald would match your eyes. Titus scratched Redheart's scalp. The merciful a petting kiss on his chest. Oh, okay. This man has green eyes, apparently. Okay, I should not do this when I'm sick. We did, Coldheart said. We were going to get a big diamond, but Red said that emerald would match your eyes. Titus scratched Redheart's scalp. The mayor smiled, planting a kiss on his chin. You do have very pretty eyes. The end. Man, I really want to see the marriage. I really want to see this marriage. Anyways, guys, thank you all guys for watching. Sorry I can't really talk about anything that I'm pretty sure I already talked about. It's not my voice isn't going hoarse. It's just that I'm sick and my nose is clogged up for some fucking reason. Anyways, guys, thank you all guys for listening, watching, and doing what I guys do. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Badass Lost Legion, what the where the fuck am I? Oh shit. What the hell, dog? Am I trapped here? I am stuck. Hello. My name is Jeff.
I don't know.
Fucking stuck.
Kinda.